Yes, that's right everyone, as you can see in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a brand new Minecraft pixel art tutorial where I'm going to be releasing to the channel, where instead of waiting a month just to complete one design, with this brand new tutorial method, you can complete 5 to 10 designs within a month. With that being said, without further ado, let's go and roll that intro, and then we'll go and show you how that new tutorial method is going to work. So as you can see right here, I'm actually on Photoshop, and essentially how this new tutorial method is going to work is I'm actually going to be recording Photoshop and not Minecraft. Now I will be showing Minecraft as well, but the main point is I'm going to be mostly recording Photoshop. And essentially what I'm going to be recording is this design right here, but not specifically this design. What I'm going to be recording is actually this design split up into quadrants. And it's going to be split up into 50 by 50 quadrants. Now some of the quadrants will be smaller, obviously because the height and width won't be exactly symmetrical in terms of it would be by 100 or by 50. So the right hand side is going to be a bit smaller and the top, but most of it is going to be 50 by 50 quadrants. And bear in mind as well, a lot of these quadrants also will be nothing in there because it's just going to be background, as you can see here. But anyway, moving on from that, let me just show you kind of how the tutorial method is going to work in terms of how we would go quadrant by quadrant. Essentially, we would start in the bottom left corner here. We would then move on to the next quadrant to the right, and keep moving on to the right until we get to the end. We would then fly back to the left, move up to the second layer, build to the right again, quadrant by quadrant, fly back to the left, move to the third layer, and build all the way to the right, and so on, and repeat the process until we finally get all the way to the top layer, going to the right and completing it, which again, most of it is going to be background, as you can see. But there may be like just a few tiny pieces that are getting in those quadrants, as you can see. But anyway, with that being said, let me show you what one of these quadrants is going to look like. And here we go, and as you can see, this is what one of the quadrants is going to look like right here. And what's going to be happening with this quadrant is I'm not actually going to be explaining any of the outline for you. Now I will be explaining certain things like the colours and making sure when we move on to the second layer or the next quadrant to the right, I'm just going to make sure that your quadrant to the right is going to be connecting to this one to the left that you just did. But in terms of the outline, like all this black outline here, this blue, this white, this darker blue, I'm not going to be explaining any of the outline for any of these areas because I don't need to. The reason for that being is because you can actually see the outline right here. You can see that there's 2 there, you can see that there's 4 up left diagonals there. You can see there's another up left diagonal after that 4 with 1 on top. You can see there's a 3 here. You can see that there's 2 white here. You can see there's another 2 here. You can see there's a bottom right diagonal with another 2 going underneath as well in the bottom right diagonal direction. You can see all of these details right here, and basically I don't need to explain that because you can see it. And with that being said, that's pretty much how the tutorial method is going to work. So what I would do is I would explain these colors, saying okay, so as you can see, the green in this design, specifically this lime green color right here that you're seeing, is going to represent one thing only, and that's going to be our background. So any areas with this lime green color is going to be our background, which basically means nothing is going to be filled in any of these areas right here. And then for the rest of the colors, let me explain what the colors are. So as most of you probably already know, this black is going to be our black concrete. So again, all the black in this design for the outline is going to be black concrete. This lighter blue here, as you can see, is going to be our light blue concrete. This white right here, as you can see, and everywhere else in this quadrant is all going to be snow in all of these areas. So all this white is going to be snow in all of these areas marked out here. And then this darker shade of blue is going to be our blue concrete powder. And that's pretty much everything there that I needed to explain. And basically you would probably now at this point pause the video and you would start to outline everything in here. Now in terms of how you can do the outline, you can do it any way you want. Again, that's the advantage with this being just like it is in terms of you can see everything because you can do it any way you want. If you want to do it horizontally, you can do it horizontally by going layer by layer by layer. Or if you want to do it outline by outline by outline, you can do it that way. Again, you can do it any other way you want. You could just do the black concrete outline and skip the colours, and then you could come back to the colours afterwards if you want to do it that way. Again, you have any option, any way you can do it yourself. Personally, what is the way that I recommend that you do it? I recommend you probably do it by outline, just because you don't need to count everything if you do it by outline. In terms of, let's just say you outlined this black concrete here, so you've done this, and then you outlined this one here, and let's just say you're now going to move on to the colours after you marked this black concrete outline here, and let's just say you did that as well with it. Basically, for this blue here, what you're going to do is basically you either could mark out the snow or blue first, doesn't matter which one you mark out here, but let's just say we did the blue first. You would basically mark out the blue, so the very outer blue outline, discard to do this. And then basically, once you mark that very outer line, all you do with your snow is we just place your snow on top in all the right hand side of it, and basically we just fill in your snow, and basically you don't have to count the snow. The reason for that being is because you already just did the blue outline, so all you would have to do was place the snow on the right hand side of it, because you can clearly see the snow is going on this side, so you don't need to count any outline for it. And then once you've done your snow, we don't have to count any of this blue because we've already marked out it right here, and we already can see it's just blue in here, so we would just start to place all our light blue concrete in here. So basically it saves up a lot of time for yourself. If you did it horizontally though, you would have to count everything. You would have to count this 2, you would have to count this 5, you know, originally we would only have to count the 1 there, we wouldn't have to count this 4 here, but you would if you're doing it horizontally. But if you want to do it horizontally, you can do it that way if you want to. Perfectly fine by you, and you can do it any way you want to do it. Again, do bear that in mind, but I do recommend doing the outline version just because it would save up a lot of time in terms of counting everything. And there you go, that's pretty much everything from me that I needed to explain. So pretty much that's how the new tutorial method is going to work. Again, if you have any questions or any things that you think I could improve upon this new tutorial method, let me know in the comments down below. And if you think this new tutorial method is a good idea, please let me know in the comments down below, because I have no idea if this new tutorial method is actually going to be a good idea, and bearing in mind your opinion is a lot more valued than mine. Your opinion means a lot more to me, because again, bear in mind the fact that I don't follow my own tutorials. You guys are the ones who actually follow my tutorials, so your opinion is going to be a lot better than mine. Much as I think this is a great tutorial method, much as I think it's going to be easier and faster, it's all up to you guys to decide whether or not you think this is better. Or one thing I will say, it's 100% faster. In terms of it being better, that I can't really say, because that's up to you guys to decide. Anyway, with that being said, that's everything from me, so I will see you in the next video. Oh, and I guess one last thing is, if you see some other content on the channel, I'm going to be doing some new content. As a lot of you probably know, or I guess as a lot of you probably are similar to me, I'm sure a lot of you are gamers out there, and I like playing games, and to be honest, I want to do a lot more gaming content where it may be a bit more interesting to watch. Much as tutorials is fun to build designs that you love, at the same time, it can get quite boring sometimes, so I want to have some more content on the channel where it's a bit more interesting, like some competitive gaming content, and some funny moment content, and just general content like that. Now I do want to make a second channel for that content. At this point in time though, there's probably not much point of me making a second channel. Once I probably grew a bit more on YouTube, I'll probably make a second channel then, if I am to obviously grow a lot more on YouTube. But with that being said, for now I'm probably just going to have some other content here with the Minecraft pixel art content. So with that being said, I will see you in the next video now. So without further ado, peace out, enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.